Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Sean coming at you from High Level. So this is a pretty awesome feature, if I do say so myself. Of course, I can't claim any credit here, but the team did an awesome job. So this is a brand new action in the workflow builder called custom code. And so the idea here is essentially that if you're an advanced user, there's always been the ability to use the APIs we have sort of outside of High Level to do almost anything, but this really brings a lot of that functionality kind of into the workflow builder without sort of making it too heavy. So let me kind of walk you through this so you can understand it. So the idea is that we will continue to, of course, add tons and tons and tons of new things to the workflow builder, but there might be something that we never add because it's super, super, super specific to your industry, or maybe we're going to add it, 3 months from now, and you don't want to wait around. Well, custom code is your answer. So the idea here is that when we get to this point in the workflow, we will execute this step, and whatever the code it is that you put in here, we will execute that code. Now, there's some caveats to this, so let's walk this down. So the idea, first of all, it's going to be JavaScript is the language. And let me jump on the next screenshot to kind of show you how this works. So the idea is, and you can see it, we may expand this at some point, but for now, we're just starting JavaScript. So the idea here is I'm coming in, I hit custom code, JavaScript. Now, properties to include in the code. So the idea is that if your code needs to operate on data that is already available from previously in the workflow, you have to explicitly decide what data you want passed into the code, and then of course, what variable you want it to be named. So in this case, for example, we're gonna have a variable called number1, and that it's gonna be filled in by the contact.phone, and then number2 is gonna be user.phone, and of course, you can do as many properties there as you need, and then we're gonna flow into the actual code block. So there's going to be a variable called input data, which is going to expose all those properties. And you can see the sum of input data dot number1 plus input number dot number2. Now I get that we're sort of summing together two phone numbers, which I think in this case, since there's strings, they'll append to each other. Sorry, getting off on my programmer thing here. And then note the output should be a JavaScript object or array of objects. So the idea is passing out of the function, you will either get a singular object or an array, just depending. And then obviously we're gonna run this code and then spit out the output. And then the output, of course, can be used later on in the workflow, which is the whole point of having custom code. And of course, you can test your code here. So if you hit run test, testing the code is mandatory. No output will be available for untested code and subsequent actions. Custom values will not be passed when you're testing your codes. The idea here is just running a quick sanity check just to make sure that we're not doing something crazy, or there's some kind of like loop or some kind of like, whatever, some kind of like syntax error, all that stuff, right? So anyways, just gives you an opportunity to do that. And then you can see right here, boom, and then it'll kind of show you the result and just let you know, hey, look, you're getting something out and test results are successful. And then that workflow step will be active. Now, I'm going a little long on this just because I do want to do a great job explaining this for both sort of software developer, coder, script sort of folks, and also people who are like, I have no idea what I would use this for, but just wanted to kind of go a little deeper here. Like if you look at this and you think, oh, I have no idea what I would ever use this for, the answer is you probably wouldn't. This is really just for folks who want this sort of more advanced workflow action. I would sort of think this is almost the kind of thing where we'll have people would almost create some of this stuff and then sort of like give it away or sell it or something to other people, depending on their level of flexibility. But again, the idea here is simple. We just want to make it available for those of the people that needed it, but the average person probably will never use it. So, but I think for those who need it, it's fantastic. We, of course, have a great support doc on this, help.gohighlevel.com, search custom code. You can find it here. It's a workflow builder article. Can't miss it. Huge props to the team for making this happen, though. For those who will use this, this is an incredible ad. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I hope you're having an amazing Monday, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.